You know what? One more old gun thing, and then we'll go from there. Although that inspired a lot of conversation. Jonathan B. Alternate World War II armament question. Given the choice between a 100% reliable M1 carbine and an M1 Garand, would you choose to equip a military force with it if you also had the means of supporting arms in the same caliber? So what he's saying here is if the M1 carbine, which I have historically talked about on InRanges, I've never seen one work. If they were functional and in that semi sort of little bit better than pistol caliber, maybe an intermediate
30,
cartridge, 30 carbine.
Like a hot 9mm.
So if you had that, would you want to make the M1 carbine the standard weapon and then also make the supporting weapons in that same cartridge?
I personally have no time on an M1 carbine, even at the shoot where people bring a lot of exotic stuff. No one's brought one. If you're coming to the DEF CON shoot and you have one in the closet, please bring it out. It would be fascinating to see one run or not run the way you've described.
I'd like you to tell me if it works or not at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I've shot an M1 and an M2, and I think they're fucking junk. I mean,
yes.
I think they're junk.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't actually hate the caliber.
Yeah, no.
I mean, is it? I can't remember. Is it? No, it's not rimmed, but it's the 30 carbine.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? I can't remember if it's rimmed or not, but it was just
No,
something
it's not
wonky
rimmed,
about.
but yeah.
Okay, yeah, it was something wonky about the ammo. I couldn't. But yeah, they ran like shit. I mean, I get that people love them. I like I understand the nostalgia that people like them. You know, I like intermediate calibers actually, so it's no disrespect to the caliber itself, but yeah, I just thought they're junk, unreliable, and
I guess the question is, if it was reliable, would it be reasonable to use 30 caliber for everything? And I'm like,
not everything.
I'm not really sure, because that cartridge, while it was an intermediary stopgap, it had a lot of deficiencies with its round nose system and all that.
Here's the answer for you, because there's at least 5 people in your audience that have this answer. No matter how reliable it is, somebody's already banging out on the keyboard. It wouldn't have been nearly as good as if everyone just had a Thompson.
Which is worse.
Which is way worse, because if anyone has ever talked to GIs, they know. But boy, talk about this is the rare 30 car supporter with the pom-poms. Most people are like, come on, why not just have Tommy guns for everyone? Of course, that's way better. No.
My answer is, I think it would have been great to get closer or faster to an intermediate cartridge, but I don't think that intermediate cartridge should have ever been 30 carbine. So my answer would have been no.
I like it.
All right, biometrics, and I got 3 of them. I'm just going to ask them all, and then we can just hit it. Mikey, biometric locking systems for gun storage? ? Kyle T, how easy are fingerprint scanners like a smartphone to spoof, bypass, trick? And Hakan I, in your perspective, how vulnerable is the? Oh, it's a little different. Let's do those 2.
Okay. So you're a shot. You're a shot. Everybody who's selling gun safes now has an electronic safe. That's like the product they're pushing. In fact, I was taking photos and notes, and I was, talking to Pete and Tom. I was like, maybe I'll do an article for TFB about gun storage. I couldn't even find real, mechanical safe dials anymore.
They're all biometric?
They're all biometric or electronic.
Or boop, 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 boop,
yeah.
boop. Okay.
Now, there's a couple of reasons for that. One is just modernity for modernity's sake. If you look more modern, people will say, "Oh, well, that's they're look at these innovations they're doing." Meanwhile, it's all the same rebadged, Chinese hardware, and it's all just like Lagarde 33Es or S&G has an electronic safe dial or some complete Chinesian product that I'm sure is horrible. So looking modern is like every industry wants to look modern for no reason, and sometimes it's silly how they do it. And 2, it is legitimately faster. Instead of dialing a mechanical safe combination, which might take you 30 seconds, punching in a code or using a fingerprint when it works will take less time than that.
Sure.
And if I had, if I had a thing that I was interacting with all the time and which was of low consequence if it were to fail to operate. You know what? Where I see this makes perfect sense. We've done some covert pen tests on hospitals. Drug storage. Drug storage in hospitals used to be in a locked room that you had to fart around with keys or
Yep.
Nowadays drugs are all stored behind keypad type. There's a dispenser machine.
But it's logged.
Right.
Yeah.
So I understand, and if you're saving doctors and nurses time because they're getting into the drugs all the time, and if it fails to work, you probably don't have a patient coding. You can actually spend another 2 minutes remediating that problem, or worst case, you go to another level of the hospital to get a dose of whatever. Because the immediate failure condition isn't lethal in that instant.
But if you can't get to your gun...
If you can't get to your gun, and it's probably not a gun you're grabbing 20, 30 times a day, is it really that inconvenient to do something that takes a few extra seconds but will work every time? I'm going to be called a Luddite and an old head. All my gun
I'm with
safes,
you.
yeah, all my gun safes are mechanical.
No, the biometric thing, the electronic thing, totally fucking pisses me off. I really get hot about this because you have people who will pay more money and dig through Gun Broker to buy no lock S&Ws. Mm-hmm. But then they're okay putting it in a biometric safe.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what?
What you just do?
You know, it's
Yeah.
like, or like guns with safeties, or like, you know, or 19 people who advocate against carrying 1911s. Fine motor skills, Another thing that can go wrong with a grip safety, and then they'll put it in a fingerprint reader safe. Are you fucking kidding me? You know, like that. To me, that blows my mind. So I'm with you. I don't put my guns in a safe. I keep everything. If I don't need immediate access to it, I keep it in a secure room.
Yeah. You have a whole
with
room
physical
set.
barriers.
Exactly.
Yeah, in a room. And for guns that I need to get to, they are put in places where they're not obvious, but they're not in a safe.
And for people who have, let's say you have, because I am a big proponent of, like, you have your collection, and then you have
Right.
your immediate need. And the immediate need guns, if you have toddlers in the house or you have some condition with roommates that you want to keep away, you can have relatively quick access. I wouldn't call them safes, I call them lock boxes that can be 100% mechanical. The little gun safe lock box market is a big electronic market. Everyone and their dog is trying something with fingerprints and RF. There's a company, and we don't have sponsors, and like ShotLock is a company I like. I really like ShotLock. They have a 5 push button. It's almost like a simplex, if you know physical security. It's like a simplex style mechanism. Bosnian Bill, who's a big lock picker and takes locks apart, and he and our buddy Lockpick Lawyer, they do a lot of firearms content as well. They have looked at ShotLock products and like them. And for what it's worth, like, that is the shotguns under each side of the bed rail. Tara and I have our shotguns. They're each with a shot lock, all mechanical, no batteries, no electronics. But the main collection is behind, you know, a proper safe dial in the basement in safes.
You know what was interesting to me is, I got 2 comments on this. One, I'm going to bring this up. What we saw it at SHOT Show but never got to put any real effort into is the Zor. The Zor does not prevent your gun from getting stolen, but it prevents it from being used immediately. So it's essentially a plug that goes into the chamber. Then you close the slide on it, and then they have a dial. And you, like, say your code is 323. You don't have to know. You don't have to look at anything. You just go 3 clicks, 2 clicks, 3 clicks, and it opens up like some kind of like expansion valve, right?
Yeah.
And that allows you to run
like
the
an
action.
angular valve.
It ejects the Zor lock and then chambers around. But the idea is you can tactically just go 3, 2, 3, and it should open up. And if you mess it up, it goes beep, and then you just do it again. Mm-hmm. That allows it to be something that's near your bed, but isn't immediately capable of firing unless you remove it. I think that Zor was interesting. It doesn't prevent theft, but it prevents misuse.
I liked it. I think I described it as if I was on a road trip with a family, and if I had kids. I don't have kids, but...
And, you know, you're going to have people reading about fine motor skills, like having to do that in the heat of the moment. You know, you hear the brake go through. But that said, I do have to say, you know, notwithstanding my diatribe against biometrics and electronic safes and all that, I don't really think there's a right answer. Like, everybody is looking at this in terms of how much security you want versus accessibility, and there's almost an inversely proportional
There is
relationship.
inverse. You have to give up one for the other.
Right. And so the thing is, like, look, I don't want to say, you know, you're an idiot for doing it this way. I mean, I do. I want to have my own personal opinion. But objectively speaking, I mean, it's all a trade-off. And there are very few, I think, completely wrong answers. But there are wrong answers. I mean, we don't have kids. So for me, I can just pretty much leave shit, laying all around. And, you know, it's not a big deal for me. But, you know, so I feel bad for you guys that have kids and you're trying to figure out a solution.
I will say this. So I used to work in a company that did a lot of biometric security equipment stuff. And this is a long time ago now, but the biometric stuff we were working on, which is predominantly fingerprint readers, it was the highest end stuff at the moment. And that is now the cheapest level stuff that you're going to get implemented in locks like you see in these unless you're buying something quite expensive that's going to be in one of these gun safes. And those things are actually very spoofable for false positives as well as false negatives, but they're not good readers. The ones that are in smartphones, at least in the iPhone devices, are actually quite good.
Yeah,
But my rant about biometrics in general, it's a really short one, is that biometrics are not really something that should be depended on for authentication because it's really a username, not a password.
Yeah. Your fingerprint is your username. It's not your password.
So when you log into a website, you type in your username, you know, Billy Bob, and then you type in your password, which is something you know. Biometrics are something you just are. Not something you know, not something you control knowing. It's just you. It's your fingerprint swirls or your eyeball or whatever it is that's being used biometrically, which cannot be changed, but actually can be relatively easily duplicated, depending on the technology included. So I think...
I did it at DEF CON 19.
Yep, and it's been done off of like pictures off of the internet where...
Oh, Angela Merkel.
Yeah, exactly. Her fingerprint swirls were just duplicated from a picture on the internet. And
I didn't know that.
And
Holy shit.
Yes.
That's crazy.
And guess what? So now that her fingerprint biometric authentication system has been compromised, she can't change it.
Oh,
What is she going to do, Bob? She's going to John Dillinger it, start pouring acid on her fingertips? I mean, that's not how that works.
I mean, dude, that'd be pretty hard to the core, though.
Yeah,
like, I'd have a lot more respect.
She's walking around
for
just like
her
a
if she
bone
did.
exposed.
Yeah,
but the point is you can't change that. So biometrics are a username, not a password. And it is modernity for modernity's sake, as you say. Unless it's including biometrics plus PIN or something like that, but now you're getting even more down the rabbit hole of availability problems.
Dick imprints.
Yeah, hey, there you go. I don't know if those are unique, though.
I know a gentleman.
Let's find out, boys.
That's the other channel. That goes on Pornhub.
That's TFBTV.
A friend of ours who he has passed and we miss him very much.
Yeah.
Stephen Toulouse. He experimented with unlocking his phone with pressing of his third thumb.
Oh, did it work?
Absolutely worked.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay, see.
Yeah.
There
All
you
the
go.
neighbors in Neighbor Slack they're dying right now.
Did he have anyone else try to use theirs to see if it would work as well?
To use his or theirs?
Theirs.
Like in his sleep, did someone try to unlock his phone? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no,
He's not with us anymore. I can't ask him.
Yeah, but I mean, I want to know if he was like passing his phone around. I mean, you would have to almost, and
Would
let
you want to know if
other
it really
dudes
worked?
touch their dickheads to your phone. I mean, that's what would have to happen.
My phone's
I mean,
been in worse places.
I mean, rest in peace, this dude that I didn't know, but it's I mean, if he's that far, if he's like explosive brain, like that far, he definitely let somebody put his dick on his
Knowing
their dick on
Stepto,
his phone.
I guarantee you someone else's dick and or balls were on his phone.
On his phone, yeah.
Not for the fingerprint thing. Just please, like, here, put this here for a second.
You guys are never going to have me back.
Welcome to Hacking Culture 101. All right, here we go. Christopher S. You guys frequently mention that most of innovations that are had in firearms are based on optics. Do you think that's InRange saying that? Not necessarily either of you. Do you think that suppressor advancements will also play a large role improving in overall firearms performance?
Yeah, suppressor?
Yeah.
Like whether or not suppressor technology
With advanced firearms technology.
I mean, that's the thing, is it's like I see suppressors as something you need in like mission oriented, unlike an optic. Like an optic now, different configurations of optics are mission oriented, but there's no question that an optic is a bona fide force multiplier.
It is.
So the thing is, you're going to have an optic no matter what. Advances in optics are going to make you more effective. And I mean, ideally, we'd all love to have like a 1 to 30 the size of an RMR. You know, it's
Yep.
like obviously the science is just not there and the optics are just not there. But I don't know if I see suppressors being mission specific are I mean, you guys tell me, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see them requiring like an evolution or them making the overall platform more effective just because they become better at their role, limited as it is.
Until we see the Hearing Protection Act or something change with the NFA, there's not enough market penetration to split engineering from woo. It's too
exactly
easy
it.
to be. I don't actually know much about who was OSS made the dead air or the OSS suppressor. I remember for like a week.
The helical.
Everyone said it was like the shit, and then for 2 weeks after that, everyone said no, it's all bullshit, and then I don't even know. Then it just dropped off the map.
But here's what I'm saying is nobody's like, man, you would shoot that gun way better if you had a suppressor on it.
Right.
You know, like nobody says that.
Right.
And that's why I think that like it's almost apples to oranges. I mean,
It provides a niche tactical advantage, but it doesn't necessarily improve the
the
functionality
performance
of the
of
firearm.
the exactly.
You could use it for blowback functionality to increase gas flow into the system for better extraction or something
yeah, I
like
mean,
that.
there's other ways to do that.
there's adjustable
yeah.
gas.
I think I'm in the... Yuck. Why do you want that? I'm kind of in the middle between the two of you on this. I think that the reality is that the only way we would find this out is for innovation to have a chance to happen, and we live in an environment that stifles that. So if there's something creative that could be done with a suppressor that would make guns work better that I can't think of right here sitting in this chair, maybe. But until we have something that's not putting its thumb on the scale to prevent that from happening, we'll never know. So, like, here's a little idea. What if a suppressor that also had, what if the gas blowback in a suppressor was used to slowly recharge optical or electronic equipment?
You just made a Prius suppressor in your head.
I just right, but I mean, what like so you brake in a car, regenerative braking. There could be regenerative systems based on suppressor gas blowback, but you're not going to see it.
One more thing to not work right that sounds awesome.
Feel free to steal the idea.
Yes.
Oh no, the guys that have been cooking bacon on their cans have already figured that out.
I
so
heard.
They're
I
one
saw
step
that.
ahead of you.
All right. Hakan I was getting to this one earlier and revisiting it. In our perspective, how vulnerable is the U.S. military to electronic warfare?
Ooh, pretty interesting. So, this is a much better question for a future in range when you have my wife on, not me.
Yep.
So Tara, my beloved, she is both a cyber and tech side policy expert. Not just policy. I mean, she came from a hard coding background, and now she works with New America. She works with the OECD. She does a lot of work in DC, and so the as it is like the fifth battleground, right? Is the cybers. Just about.
I think you could argue it's the first.
It will be. Will it be? Well, I mean, in pure doctrine, right? You have land, sea, air. Fourth is space, if you don't know.
Well, Space Force.
Space Force.
Yeah.
And yeah, fifth being cyber. How prepared is any military? Honestly, as prepared, I think, as any military is for anything they don't regularly encounter. The old adage that generals are still preparing for the last war kind of holds true on all those domains, including cyber. And cyber it's never going to get the attention it needs until something disastrous happens. And hopefully it'll be a small one-off, not an entire crippling, failed invasion. But to this day, honestly, follow, she's at Tara with an H on Twitter, TRH. Just follow her, and you'll get a way better answer than anything I could crack out 3 whiskeys and 2 beers in at this point.
But what about an EMP?
An EMP attack?
Yeah.
That's all bullshit.
I heard that's my refrigerator's going to stop, my car will crash, and my head will explode.
No.
What?
If you really care, by the way, about oh my God, the EMPs, because I guess either you still think Russia is the threat,
I think you're still reading Pepper magazine
yeah,
from
still looking
89.
at North Korea.
Yeah.
Go to a yard sale or go to the side of a road and get a filing cabinet, a metal.
That'll also
Filing
work in
cabinet.
front of your door.
Yes,
To
exactly.
Put the
keep
filing cabinet in front of the door you don't
door.
want to open and put your electronics in it?
Put any electronics in front of in a filing cabinet. It doesn't have to be grounded. Just about any air debt of modern nuclear weapons will not affect anything inside of that filing cabinet. EMP is not the risk that people think it is.
So you're saying that scene from that stupid Indiana Jones movie where he hides in the refrigerator is legit?
There was more than one Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah. Oh, good point.
Raiders forever.
Mauser dude, I don't know how much you do. I know that I do to some degree. He does a lot. Combo travel security question. Do you have a recommendation for a decent sub $100 lock for securing gun cases for airline travel? Do you deal with this?
Well, I don't put too much thought in. I travel with guns constantly.
Okay, there we go.
But I actually don't put too much thought into it because I think theft, like gun theft by an airline employee, is such a big effing deal that I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not paranoid enough. I think I've just used little master locks on a Pelican case, and it's always been fine. I mean, of course, a Pelican case, especially if I'm going to a carbine course, and I've got the double rifle roller, it just screams guns inside. Awesome guns inside, for that matter.
Yep.
Especially if I've got a BCM or a LaRue sticker on that thing.
Yep.
But I think it's such a big deal, and they can figure out along the way who did what, that I guess it's such a confined environment. I don't think too much about it. So as far as a lock goes, I say get a better case rather than a lock. I think there's going to be, you guys are probably going to school me here. But
I think that's a reasonable argument, actually. It's funny, before I get to you on this, for travel, I actually use Abloy locks because I'm an Abloy guy, and I like one singular key for all of my Abloy devices. But that said, I did ship something through FedEx, actually a gun that I needed to get some work done on it. It is Rick Smith's FG42. If you didn't see the mud test, go watch it now. No, watch it after this. And listen to that. Anyways, I shipped it in a really awesome locking gun case. But on the one side of the case, it said gun box or something. It said gun on it. And it's obviously a gun case. It could not be anything but a gun case. But the person at FedEx was like, we can't ship this like this. It says gun on it. So we put a sticker over the word gun.
So there is actually a policy. They could ship it. They weren't allowed to market. There's all common carriers, which include shippers as well as air carriers, are not allowed to mark a case in the way that says gun.
Yes.
They technically didn't need to refuse it. It's cute that
Well, we put a sticker on it and
magic,
fix the problem.
it's done.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got me there with the abloy.
But I will say, like I've at least 50 flights with guns, and with just like a cheapo, I mean not cheapo, but like a master lock, like something you get from Walmart. I've literally never had a problem. Now, as soon
What
as I
does it
said
look
that,
like? What kind of, does it look like the clad metal slats, or does it look like a black plastic one?
no, like one of the cheapo black plastic ones.
Black plastic ones, comb picks, sir. I'm going to show you comb picking.
Okay, and I'm sure these baggage handlers are like, oh, I'm going to pick the shit out of this thing
It's
with
not
my
even
comb.
a pick. Literally, you stick.
God damn, train.
You stick one tool in, you lift and turn, the entire lock flies apart. No.
Dude, I'm sure if they were motivated enough, they could probably. But the thing is, I don't think that there's like this big racket of employees who can be easily discovered that are going to go through that much effort in order to defeat a lock to steal a gun. I think it's one of those things where it might be opportunistic.
Yeah.
Not calculated. Like it might be something where it's like, hey, this idiot, he's got his rifle secured with a twist tie. It's like, okay, I'll just fucking take it and I'll leave my job.
For the most part, the history, by the way, of gun theft in airports, Miami had a ring that was broken up at one point. LAX for a while wasn't great, and my own home of SeaTac years ago had some stats that were higher than others. Almost, as you point out, almost all gun theft in airports, either the rampers and throwers or TSA, because we know how honest the TSA is. Most of those people, they're opportunistic attacks. They're not people attacking any locks at all. They're people attacking a soft-sided, like a duffel bag, where they can exploit the zipper.
That's what I'm saying.
And if the gun is in a small, because people aren't stealing large guns. They do go through, like they have to walk by their fellow employees and their boss. If they have a small thing that they can shove in like a little lunch cooler, because they actually, I'm not going to say these people are all honest, but the system is set up in a way that is designed to make our stuff a little bit secure.
Yeah.
They're not stealing a big thing. They're not allowed to bring like this Varstaleka backpack. You couldn't bring that in. You can bring your lunch, you could bring your phone, or you could bring a fanny pack of like an iPod. So if they can grab something small, medicines are popular, things, jewelry.
Oh, medicine, I could see that easily.
But
yeah.
a gun, again, is just not easily shoved in someone's pants, if it's a long arm especially. So I'm flipping you shit on the master lock, but you're doing more than most. And I would actually say the risk of like having a locked case, a big Pelican case, is honestly, once it hits the carousel, if there's a shady person in the baggage, you might want to opportunistically steal it.
Yeah, I agree.
So just hustle down and be there to meet it.
And maybe I should just get off my dead ass and spend like $20 on a better lock. But the point is, I've been doing it the half-ass way, which is I'm not advocating doing that.
No.
I'm a lazy piece of shit.
I will settle out of court right now.
Yeah, and you didn't
for 3 abloys, sir. I'll give you 3 matching abloys.
And you didn't read all your charges, by the way. What was charge 2?
Trademark infringement, sir.
What was number 3?
3, I'm an asshole. And 1 was identity theft.
Oh, damages. I need injunctive relief.
Oh my God, injunctive relief, but it's already 100 million.
No. Injunctive relief is you have to do or not do something.
Oh, I have to stop chugging dick. I can tell you right now, there's no way ever I will comply with stop chugging dick. Send me to jail, lock me up, sir, in good cuffs.
We can't change your true nature.
I will pick my way out of them.
Yeah.
Seriously, jokes earlier about fat shaming. No fat shaming, no kink shaming, no able shaming. Gun culture needs to be a big tent. And by all means, I've had the pink pistols come out to my shoots plenty of times. Here.
Yeah.
Cheers to that. Yeah.
Salud. What's next?
All right. Andrew D., this is actually, we kind of went there. We're going to go this real quick. Are you aware of any instance in which the TSA have illegally cut locks, and has anything done about it?
Yes. No.
So you're aware of them doing it, they get away with it.
I mean, because, careful on illegal, right? Have they, out of policy, cut my locks? Yes. It's my firearm blog article, has shown photos of cut locks.
Yep.
And I get remunerated for it. Usually by the airline more than the TSA. The TSA has paid me once or twice. It takes about 6 months on average.
Yep.
And is anything done about it? I'm sure there's a note in someone's file. And I'm a level of insane where I know the name, like I get names of everyone I talk to when I check in. I have these articles. I'm so behind. If you know like HTML and you would like to write up about a year's worth of my flights that I have note logs of and I haven't written up, please, I will pay you, somebody. But because I have names of and I've had situations where I get to my destination, the locks are cut, and I yell at the TSA and I yell at Delta, and they say, well, I have finger point. And I say, no, I checked in at this time, at this airport. I spoke to James. James took me over to talk to Karl at this station. It was at 2:46, and Karl gave my key back, and he said I was good. So they're like, F, this guy knows what he's talking about. And that's the only reason that I'm getting like my $50 back for my lock. I'm not getting it with an apology or it'll never happen again, sir. And that's a win in this world.
How should they contact you if there's someone that wants to do that for you?
If they want, just like email me or tweet at me or email him and he'll tell me or something.
Okay.
You know, say something in the Patreon comments that we read more diligently than most people probably do.
I'm going to bust through a few that are from me directly real quick because they're just mine. But James K., if you were going to run a bolt-action geezer division at 2-gun, what would it include? We actually have a division already called manual. It's meant for that purpose. I don't know that I'd call it geezer because we have a lot of young guys shooting manual guns, stuff you wouldn't want to shoot at all. But we have people bringing out bolt actions, lever guns, whatever. So if I were going to do that, I've done it a number of times at the match. So watch through my archive footage and you'll see me running Car 98s, what the heck, everything known to man, 1873s, 1866s. So if I were to do that, I would do it with everything I could for fun. But we do have a division for that called manual.
Do you change the stage design or the part times, or how do you craft it? So that
I don't change anything. You bring that and you just get greased.
All right, then.
Yeah.
But against
Fair
other
enough.
people who also have manual arms.
Oh, well, no, you're going up against AR-15s.
Then how is it its own division?
It's because it's scored. You are in the score sheet. You're listed as manual.
Okay.
You just get to be at the bottom of the score sheet.
I like it.
It's completely fair.
Yeah, totally.
Well, yeah, and that's fine. If that's your goal, is to learn how to use this thing better for whatever reason that's interesting to you, have at it. But realize what's going to happen.
Your average match, how many manual are there?
2 or 3 at the
But they won't
most.
be alone.
No,
There's always at least someone else.
Nah, there's sometimes only one, but you'll see 2 or 3 at a time.
There'll be someone else there.
Yeah.
Don't hesitate to come out.
And if that's what you want to do, if you're bringing out anything, if all you got is a Car 98 and a wheel gun and you want to shoot 2-gun, you're not going to place at the top, you're going to place at the bottom, but you're still improving your skill sets. Do it. Who cares? It's fine. As long as you're safe, I don't care. Don't bring a flintlock, though. That's not fun.
Oh my God.
Has anyone ever done
Extremely
that?
boring.
We've had people ask if they could bring out stuff like that. And I'm like, this is where the line gets drawn because it's just not possible to run the match. It's just not.
Still funny. I applaud.
Yeah.
I applaud.
Pretty much if your gun's older than 1914, don't bother. Although I've done it, and you can watch me get part out on all 4 matches, stages. It's not very fun, actually. Tim B. I've heard you mention projects to modernize Garands, SKSs, and lever guns. What's going on with those projects? We've got some of the utilities and resources together to do it, but just haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's called the SCAR, the AR-15. Yeah, they're fucking awesome, man. You should go check them out.
Well, that's true. There is that. But we are talking about what can be the reason for this project is if, like, you're living in occupied California and all you can get is an M1, what can you do to make the M1 the best thing possible?
Yeah.
Like, that's
No,
an
I read
interesting,
that.
it's an
Okay.
interesting
All right.
question.
All right.
That's that. Jonathan B. Do I consider the M1 carbine to be a PCC, pistol caliber carbine, for 2-gun? Yes. If you want it, pistol caliber carbine is a division in which you use no pistol. You just use your long arm, and you can shoot at the pistol targets and the rifle targets with it. The M1 carbine is a PCC. Just blasting through these here.
Sure. Blast away.
I watch every Q&A. This is awesome for me.
Mike,
this is a video I don't have to watch.
You previously said that, maybe you guys have input on this. Mike, you've previously said, I know you love the M1 again, you previously said that the M1 Garand is the oldest rifle that's still viable practical. What about the M1 makes it so, and why do not other semi-automatics, like the Remington Model 8, make the cut? Well, I'll give that answer real quick. The M1 Garand was used by the U.S. military for a long time. It is a sturdy, reliable, resilient weapon that has gone through multiple wars. Won 2 world wars. No, not really. Won 1. But it was used in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. It continued to be used in the National Guard for a long time. It is a tried, tested, proved gas system, feeding system with a proven cartridge that's accurate and reliable. The feeding system is fast, even though it's not box fed, and block clips are quick. The gun handles, balances well, and it weighs about 10 pounds. It's something you can actually lug around. And it's got a good sighting system. So would I want to take an M1 in modern day if I could have something else? No. But in terms of its functionality and its design principles and why it's better than the other semi-automatics of the time, I think that pretty much states it. They made over 6 million of them for a reason. Any thoughts on the M1, Garand?
No. I mean, like you said, for at the time, I mean, of course, it's easy for me to crap on them present day, but you know, for the time, it was what was needed, and apparently it got the job done. So screw it.
It did.
Yeah.
I can't hate on him for that.
Cool enough.